Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I oppose this amendment. In January of this year, the Pentagon issued a directive stating, quote, that the Department of Defense must be able to adapt current and future operations to address the impacts of climate change in order to maintain an effective and efficient U.S. military, end quote. This followed a DoD report to Congress released last July that said, quote, climate change is an urgent and growing threat to our national security, contributing to increased natural disasters, refugee flows, and conflicts over basic resources such as food and water, and the scope, scale, and intensity of these impacts are projected to, end quote. From 2006 to 2010, Syria experienced overwhelming refugee flows that DoD characterized as a climate-related security risk, creating negative effects on human security and requiring greater DoD involvement and resources. And in 2014, the Pentagon reported that the impacts of climate change may increase the frequency, the scale, complexity of future missions, while at the same time undermining the capacity of our domestic installation to support training activities. The readiness of our military depends on being able to train and equip the most advanced force in the world, but the threat of rising sea levels from escalating temperatures and melting ice caps could put dozens of military installations at risk. San Diego is home to the largest concentration of military forces in the world, with 7 military installations in my district alone. Rising sea levels, drought, and finding reliable energy sources all pose challenges. So San Diego military installations are investing in energy security and increasing water and energy efficiency. We have not to undermine those efforts. This amendment is an attempt by top politicians to prevent the Department of Defense, which is tasked with maintaining a strong military, keeping all Americans safe, and protecting our global interests, from addressing what they call an urgent and growing threat to our own national security. But national defense is not about politics or ideology. This is about security, readiness, and continuing to field the most dynamic and effective military in the world. We cannot have that if we ignore science and the concerns of the brightest military minds in the United States of America. I oppose this reckless amendment and ask my colleagues to do the same. I yield back the balance of my time.